Good afternoon, Stitch Roadies. Welcome, welcome. This is a channel about cross-stitch and living and life and all of that. Books, movies, whatever you're interested in, there's a little bit of something for everybody. Today, I live in the greater Portland, Oregon area, and today is overcast and cloudy with a little bit of drizzles. If I had that weather map behind me, I would be going like, and the rain is moving across. Yeah, but I don't. But it is typical spring Portland weather, which means more stitching. And I have to tell you, this week has been packed, absolutely packed with stitchy goodness. And I have so much to share with you. But I wanted to start out with something I was given privy to this week when I was listening to my book, my audiobook. And I have shared with you before that the latest audiobook that I just was reading and have finished was The Regrets of Clover. It's a beautiful book on so many different levels and so many different chapters. You can take what you want from it. But the two things that stick in my head after reading this book was the conversation at the end of the audiobook that was between the narrator and the author. And the author, interestingly enough, was a journalist, and this was her first fiction book, and she's Australian. So that all of that was quite intriguing to me. But there were two things that were brought up in the conversation that I am keeping in my heart, because I even wrote them down so I could kind of think about them. And one is the secret to a beautiful death is living a beautiful life. Now that might be for some of you kind of hard to digest, but I just want you to take it with you and at some point just think about it. And the other one is to think about being cautiously reckless. My whole life has not been cautiously reckless. I mean, it's been reckless and there's been caution, but cautiously reckless, yeah. And maybe it's because I am the age I am. I look at life in terms of there's like an end to the road. And so what do I want to do between now and then? Well, what I don't want to do is to keep myself deprived of what gives me the most joy. And at market day, because, you know, Acorns and Threads, my L&S, had a 2-day market day event. And I ran into many people that I stitch with either on Zoom or in person. And one of them, Robin is her name, told me that she had heard on another floss tube, which I think is awesome. That means that all us floss tubers, we're getting some messages out. And she had heard on another floss tube, of which I cannot remember which one, was that the purchasing of charts or linen or floss is not necessarily like we're just randomly doing it. We are curating it. And I immediately was taken by that, and I thank Robin for that, because curating sounds a little fancier and like I'm a little bit more knowledgeable. And yes, so all that I'm going to share with you today was curated. Just saying, okay? Yeah, so that was a big, big, profound thought that I've stuck in my head now. I also want to thank this whole community. I'm here to tell you, I didn't anticipate when I moved from one side of the mountain to the other that my life would be so rich with creative people. You know, I left, not forever, but I've left a lot of creative friends on the other side of the mountain, which I make my trek over. But I didn't know really at my age, I know I keep saying that, huh? My age and my where we decided to live, and that I would find another tribe. I had no idea that I would find a tribe that truly accepted me for all of my idiosyncrasies, and that I would look forward to stitching and hanging out with them. It's been such a blessing, and not all of it is in person. That's the thing, is that really think about connecting with other people in other areas. It gives you a broader view of the world, and you might develop some wonderful friendships. So this morning I spent time on Zoom with my friend Nancy, who lives in Nova Scotia. And you know, we're not only talking about stitching on wool or cross stitching. We're talking about she is a dog breeder. What's going on? I mean, it snows like, you know, there's 100 times more snow where she lives than here. And but the gem she gave me today was that which goes into the fact that, you know, I shared with you before that when I had COVID last month, that I was watching on that big screen Hoarders. Yeah, woo, so scary. Well, she has been taking 2 items out of her house, putting them in a box, and then at the end of the week, off they go. Decluttering, or just paying attention to what really means something and what doesn't, and what is just there because, yeah. Well, thank you, Nancy, because today I did my whole laundry room. I never do anything a little bit at a time. It's like when I dive in, it's like the deep end of the pool. And so I did my whole laundry room, and all the things that I piled up in the back of my car went off to the donation site. I can't tell you, I feel 10 pounds lighter myself. It's so the way she's doing it, which is totally a crack up. She picks 2 items in her house that are going to leave her house, and she puts it in a box like out in the garage or something. And she can't bring anything into the house that isn't sustainable to life. And I told her, well, floss is sustainable to life. There's just no way. Yeah, what a crack up. But what I mean by that story is that the truly best part of the current time, our current era, is that we can make friendships with people that we most likely would not physically cross their path, and they still are dear to us. So I would encourage you to check that out. Check out the whole, I know some people don't like Zoom, but I have made some wonderful friends on Zoom, and I'm just sharing that with you. Okay, update, big update. The trees are done, and I don't have them here to show you. Well, they wouldn't fit in the screen. In fact, yesterday when Janine came by, I had it laid out on the downstairs on the living room floor, and she was like, she reacted as I would want her to react. And that was breathless and, oh my gosh, yeah. It's a long haul. It was a long haul project. And I couldn't remember what year I started it. It was one of the early days of meeting Janine and coming over the mountain and going to Acorns and Threads, because we didn't have a cross-stitch shop on the other side of the mountain. And the chart itself was, I purchased it when I was in Europe, so it, to have her kitted up. And it's gigantic, because back then I was like all into the 32 count. Yeah, so it's big. It's big. Yeah. I'm still pondering what I'm going to do, but I'm so excited that it's done, because as I shared with you before, I have a dry erase board, and on that dry erase board I have listed whips, and I had 33 whips. And what I mean by whips is those were projects at the beginning of this year that I had already started, and I counted them as whips. The new starts that I'm doing this year won't be counted in the whip until 2025. So I have 33, and I have had like 8 starts this year, which aren't counted in the whips. I want you to stay with me. Not counted in the whips. And like 5 or 6 finishes. But what was disturbing to me was that although I was starting and I was finishing some projects, none of them were in the whip column, which is projects that I carried forward. So the trees was the first one that I got to erase off the dry erase board. And I'm here to tell you, it was, you know what I'm talking about, that feeling. Yeah, it was awesome. So now I have 32 whips and many more starts. So now I pondered about, what does it mean? The trees were my designated stitch. And what I mean by my designated stitch, if you are new to the channel, those of you who are old, not old, but seasoned, will be hearing this again. My designated stitch is the one that I do every single evening. That means I don't have to make a choice. I choose a project and I stitch on it till it's done. And I'm only stitching on it in the evening when I sit down with G and watch TV. During the daytime, I can stitch on whatever I want. Well, I was thinking about it, and I thought, I'm going to make the designated stitch always be a project out of the whip column. That way I can get some older projects off the books. Yeah. So I chose the next designated stitch, and it's in this absolutely adorable bag by Lorraine, and she has a little, oh, I gotta show the little A. Isn't that cute? And I just love it because it says, be true, be happy, be you. It's all this fun stuff in there. And thank you, Lorraine. I cherish that bag. This bag. So this was a project that was started as a start along, stitch along. Many of my friends have finished it. I have not, but it's going to be the designated stitch as of tonight. And it's Away We Ride. Away We Ride, Blackbird design. Yeah. And the last time I touched it was a while ago. But this is where I had left it off, you know, so this is going to be the next designated stitch. I'm very excited about that, because then it'll be done way before the haunting season. And as you know, I'm a book a days person, and I have a pattern that I use my book a days. And one is, I have this list right here. You can stop the screen if you want to read it. And I fill in a star every time I have done or touched these items that are on this list, and they are the same every month. And then I have the sals that I'm participating in. And then I have an explanation of the color of stars that I use. And then you can see I have a gold star because I finished the trees. And I have a red star, which means I started a project right there. And this is working very well for me, very well. So right now, let's see, I have 32 whips, 6 starts, 4 finishes, and 2 FFOs. So the Book of Days is a winner for me. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's been quite the cross-stitch week because we had market days. Since the last time we spoke, I went stitching on first Thursday and picked up my pre-orders from Nashville Market. And then I couldn't go on Friday, but on Saturday, the second day of market days, I went and shopped the displays at Acorns and Threads, and they were, oh, yeah. So let me get into showing you the curated items that I picked up. Okay, first of all, I got these stickers because, yeah, well, you'll see. Absolutely perfect. Got those stickers. I picked up the Jeanette Douglas Chubby Bee. And it's so chubby. So chubby, like me. I decided I was going to just get this pack because you never know. You just never know. It's curating. I'm curating. And it's a fiber on the whim, fat quarters in 40 count. And so I got, you see the colors, aren't they amazing? And this one is the most interesting to me. I have no, they aren't like assigned to anything. I just wanted to be sure that I didn't miss out. Yeah, I didn't want to miss out. This was the funniest chart, and I will be starting this sometime in the spring. I'm not sure when, but it is going to be definitely done and framed in an awesome frame like this one is. But it is the primitive hair, and you know, all of these I purchased at Acorns and Threads. So as they say on our public broadcast, phone operators are standing by to take your order. Okay, so the primitive hair, not hoarding. Absolutely. It's not hoarding if it's cross-stitch, but look at that frame. Oh, absolutely spectacular. So I had to have that. And of course, I want to let you know that as far as the Prairie Schooler Santas, I haven't shown you a lot of those. And it is finish a Prairie Schooler, start a Prairie Schooler, you know, Sal. And I usually, what I've done with my prairie schooler, because I kind of fell off the bandwagon a little bit, is that I'm still stitching prairie schooler Santas downstairs in the morning. But what I'm doing is I am threading my needle and stitching till I get to the end of that thread, and then I re-thread it for the next stitch, and I leave it so that anytime I pick up that prairie schooler Santa, it's already threaded and ready to go. And that has been a good thing, because what happens to me in the morning is I get up, G makes coffee, we're sitting down in front of the fireplace, and I'm playing Wordle, Spelling Bee, mini crossword, and connections. And so I'm not getting to my stitching, but at least if I have the thread already threaded and locked in on the prairie schooler Santa, I'm more likely to finish that thread. But I had to have this one. I mean, look at the trees that are stitched back behind. You know, it's so clever. It's so clever. So I picked up that. Jan Hicks Creates. Oh, just gorgeous. I'm always gobsmacked at red, any kind of red thread. So I got that. That's so lovely. It's absolutely lovely. And then Teresa Koget's Creative Whims. And Teresa is coming to Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, and along with Beth Twist, and they're the featured designer. Oh my gosh. Featuring 8 designs. Hello, spring. And this year we have needed spring. But I not only loved the designs, but I also thought all these little designs here could be kind of popped out and stitched all by themselves. I mean, there's nothing but loveliness in here. The buzzing of the day assures a restful night. Yes. It's a beautiful book. It's an absolutely beautiful book. Oh, the bird who dares to fall is the bird who learns to fly. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so pretty. So I picked up that. And then I am a fan of the Artsy Housewife. I like all of her stuff. And my friend Sandy up in Canada, and we're kind of the Crow people, and I just thought this was awesome. And I am gorgeous. Gorgeous! Yeah. And then you got this. You got this. Look at that. It's hard to say no to some of these. Brenda Gervais, Hello Spring. Yep, yep. And then I've already kitted this up because my friend Carrie and I are doing a start along. I'm going to be starting this on the first day of spring, which is the 20th. And there's nothing to... I love everything the blue flower. And this one, In Praise of Pollinators. And I already have the fabric, the called for fabric, and I already have it all kitted up. And actually, we had the Mountain Stitchers, which meets once a month in Sandy, Oregon. And Carrie started it yesterday at the Mountain Stitchers. And I was really itching. I was really itching to do it. But I'm going to wait till the first day of spring. Margaret, who is the moderator of the Zoom events at Acorns and Threads completed this project from the Jingle Ball. And you can't tell from the photograph, but it is actually stitched on perforated paper and then on wooden stands that are, so it's dimensional. It's not a flat, it's flat, but not a square or rectangle. It's actually cut out. And so Margaret had ordered a bunch of the black perforated paper, and I bought a sheet from her to get this done. So I'm ready for that, for whenever I am ready to start that. And she gave me an awesome little bag, grocery shopping bag, or a cross-stitch shopping bag. So I think that was the curated items. I believe that was all of the curated items. Yes. Which, yeah, gonna keep me busy. Gonna keep me busy. Gonna keep me happy. Okay, I'm still like trying to figure it all out. I'm still trying to figure it all out. I have, you know, on my book of days, I have the thing, like, let me just show you. So when I complete these items here every month, these are goal items, I get a silver star. And so in March, I completed so far the Halloween one. And let's see here. Halloween. Where is Halloween? I tell you, it's really, oh, there it is. So the Halloween was completed, and that was, it's from the Fat Quarter Shop, and so I finished this square here. Day 7. So I got my silver star. I am working on my Christmas ornament for March, and that is from Lila's Studios. I'm working on Love, and that's where I'm at now. So I still have some other things to complete before the end of the month. I did do my, don't know if I shared this with you or not, but we'll share it again. My leap year, oh, that would have been in the last day of February. I started in this gorgeous Linex Stitches bag, you know, Ruth, my Ruthie bag. I am stitching Women of Honor sampler by Rebel Stitcher. I don't know if I showed this all to you already, but it's a rerun. It's a rerun. and so I just have that. You can hardly see it because of the color, but it's going to show up. It's awesome. I love this fabric. And this fabric is Dirty Brown. By it's 36 count Zweigart Edinburgh linen by X Jude Design. Very pretty, pretty. So started that on Leap Year Sal Day. And so I still have some goals to meet for this month, which I shall. But yesterday well, day before yesterday. But this is the stitch I took to the Mountain Stitchers. And I have, this is one of my favorite bags. This is by Punky Pearl. I was gifted a chart that was also kitted up, so I had to start it. I mean, my friend Carlene, who I met at, our paths have crossed, but we were most recently at the attic for Sampler Symposium. And this was Botanical Bee, hands-on design. Oh, I know, it's so pretty. And so I get that started. Oh, I know, isn't it? It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous. So I have that got started yesterday. Let's see, anything else? Oh, I have to show you. My friend Julie, younger, faster, more talented, more everything, got on to, Clay by Kim. Yeah. And I had no idea. I mean, this is how funny it is. I had no idea how big this was. I thought it was one of the needle minders, but no, it's actually a fairy door. So let me show you. Look at how big. That's like my head, almost my head. But isn't it beautiful? Oh my gosh. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. So I've got to find a spot on the shelf for that. Yeah. Julie's something else. Yeah, she is something else. She's so talented. So I think that's everything. I know that I'm really excited this week because my friend Robin from Washington is coming down with Lynn, and they're coming to look at market stuff at Acorns and Threads. And so, and tomorrow is the perfect day because it is a stitch day at Acorns and Threads, so we'll be able to actually sit and relax and stitch, and I hope I see some of you there. Otherwise, I got to get some stitching done. Yeah, I got to get some stitching done. So, what book am I moving on to next? Well, let me see. I am going to, I have 2 books on the shelf right now, and I think I'm going to start with The River We Remember. So let's see how that turns out. Let's see how that turns out. I hope you guys are all doing well. I know these are challenging times, but I think if we live a cautiously reckless life, yeah, it's going to be exciting and it's going to be okay. So we'll see you around, and I hope our paths cross. I hope you stop in at Acorns and Threads on one of their stitchy days. You can go online and sign up for their newsletter, and then you will see what the calendar looks like. And I will most definitely be there tomorrow. Love you guys. You take care.